Good evening gamers, it's Cherry Controller, and today we are going to be looking at 5 of the best seeds for a survival world. Over my years of playing this game, something I've always loved is seed hunting, and I cannot wait to share with you guys some of the things that I've found over my time of just hunting seeds in general. Today we're only going to be looking at 5 of them, but let's get into it. This is easily one of my favorite seeds that I've ever found. Alright guys, so this first seed spawns you in a forest. Make your way above the treetops and you'll find that you are surrounded by warm biomes. It's so cool. I also feel like Badland spawns a really good early game because, gold guys. With a sandy village just off in the distance. This seed starts you off with the perfect opportunity to be able to get a great early game start. If you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge, next to our village we have a desert temple, guys. So you can go ahead and try your luck in that desert temple if you're looking for a little bit of a challenge in your early game. You will find that you slowly stumble across a gigantic portal. While not finished, it offers enough obsidian to be able to make a normal portal by yourself if you wanted to mine it out. Something that this seed also brags is a pretty perfect nether, I can't lie guys. But say we were going to set up a portal next to the big one in the Badlands. If you don't like nether spawns where they pop you out somewhere absolutely horrendous, then this is a really good first portal to set up, guys. This portal will pop you out in standard nether wastes. It's pretty safe, you're under a little shelter and you haven't got to deal with anything really. Just a short walk away from your portal you'll be finding yourself with red crimson, and not far from your portal you'll be finding yourself a bastion too. And next to the bastion you will find yourself a nether fortress, guys, right next to that gigantic portal where we first spawned. This nether fortress also has a very accessible blaze spawner. The blaze spawner then goes into the warped forest as well, with 3 nether biomes and 2 structures instantly at the first portal that you find in the overworld that pops out into the nether. I feel like this is just an absolute steal and a find. It also comes with a second blaze spawner on this side too. There's something about the fortress going through the warped zone that is just so satisfying. I love it. The purple and the blue go so well together. Or should I say the maroon or burgundy? What do you guys think that color is? Do we think it's like burgundy? Do we think it's like maroon? Is it brown? Is it red? Is it purple? What do you call it? On the other side of the red forest, there is another bastion, and a gigantic one at that. This is probably one of the prettiest bastions I've ever seen. With 2 gigantic bastions right next to you guys. This seed is super exciting. Starting your world in the Badlands means you have some access to some awesome caves. This seed is really boasting on its caves. You and your friend could have a bougie open air cave each, with a shared portal right in between. After a short distance through some tropical badlands with a jungle edge, you'll find yourself a warm ocean. It's almost like its own private little warm ocean. With the sea being so broad, this gives you perfect opportunity to be able to go out and find other things by boat. You don't have to do this by foot. One of the things that I truly loved about this seed was the amount of biomes all into one area. I thought it was so ideal, guys. If you're looking for a straight up warm biome straight to begin with, then this is the perfect seed for you, as you are literally offered all of them at the doorstep of spawn. That's super cool. I love the way that the land is almost split between this luscious jungle and these red badlands. If you and your friend wanted either side of this map, you guys could have a clear difference between your towns. It would be very cool. With the jungle hiding its very own treasures too, you can find lush caves underneath the jungle with jungle temples on top. One of my favorite things about this seed is the fact that you have this gigantic jungle tree all the way up there. I think it's so good. It's clearly the tallest jungle tree around for ages. Right next to our Badlands shore, this seed boasts 2 pirate ships. Not far from the Badlands, with the village in the distance, there is an island out in the middle of the ocean ready for you to set sail to. If you follow the ocean coastline all the way down, eventually it will bring you to the cold zone of this seed. With beautiful pink cherry trees off in the distance, and we've got our spruce in case you were a little bit more of a Stark. This pillager post easily has stolen the best place for a build. With views like this in the background, anyone's sure to be jealous of a home like this. If you're looking for more of the peaceful life out here, you can pick this spot right next to the village, so you'll have some companions to keep you company up here in the cold mountains. This cold mountain plain is a perfect place for a creative or survival build. Maybe you even want to build on the mountain. Well, you could use this path that is already pretty carved out, ready for a path to go straight up into the mountain. With this mountain reaching way above the clouds, those views are just incredible. How could anybody say no to that? And with a perfect dip in between, there's even a little green spot for you to build yourself a little protected village. If you're brave enough to venture down into the depths, you will find yourself a huge, hella huge ancient city, guys. There is so much skulk around that it's almost difficult to find the city itself. So I've popped the coordinates of the actual city up in the top corner. But yeah, there's so much skulk to navigate, guys, insane amounts. But when you do, you find this gigantic city. So if you're one of the braver of the bunches, you might enjoy exploring that. With perfect snow biomes for survival and creative, this seed pretty much has everything you could want. Okay, let's move on to the next seed. Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying the video. Speaking of Starks, this next seed has a rather Tolkien feel to it. With this next seed, you'll find yourself spawning in a rather large savanna biome. You might find yourself feeling kind of lost as you realise you're in this huge valley. Making your way to the closest high point, around 50 blocks or so over, you'll be able to see a savanna village just off in the distance. This provides some pretty needed early game loot. If you have a good render distance, you may be able to see the other villages in the distance too. Now, this village didn't offer too much other than some food and some beds, but in the lower part of the village, in these cliff-hanging houses, I did find a saddle and a brewing stand. This village is definitely worth a visit with it being so near spawn. As you stand on the edge of the cliff face side of this village, you'll see a huge gaping hole in the side of the mountain. This mountain is home to some seriously cool cave. This cave has flooded aquifers at the top, which bring you all the way down to this alien land below. If you wanted a cool cave village with bridges spanning from the columns and houses hanging, it would be perfect for that. Head back out past our spawn point in the opposite direction and you can find another village on the edge of an oak forest. This village is pretty large. It's a great place to stop before you head over to the pillager outpost. With some allies to save, another acacia village nearby to become the hero of, and an ocean to explore, this bit of land is jam-packed, guys. Next to the acacia village, you have this super cool half-hanging portal as well. This ocean brings you to, not far off, an absolutely gigantic blue ice mountain. To have the bamboo and the jungle in front of the blue ice mountain is wild. This blue ice mountain is home to the little mountain goats you can get. Just off the Blue Ice Mountain, you can find this really crazy cave. This would be sick for some sort of, I don't know, fantasy build, a Pirates of the Caribbean build. You get this little flooded cave, but the outside looks so cool. It looks like a mouth or something. Only 200 blocks away from spawn, placing yourself on one of the higher parts of the savannah, you will see these cold mountains peeking up over above, with multiple mountain peaks from all around the map. It's very hard to be disappointed by this backdrop. Any space you pick, there'll be some sort of pretty mountain looking down upon you. You could even join this mountain village and maybe help them dig out some of their houses. 1,000 blocks from spawn, and you come face to face with an absolutely gigantic snow biome. With frozen rivers and lakes for as far as the eye can see, spruce and mountains, it makes for a pretty good home. This gigantic snow biome is in a perfect straight line with some of the other biomes. You could build a gigantic Game of Thrones type wall across this entire bit of Iceland, and it would be pretty much to scale. Of course, as per, these beautiful sights and beautiful snow biomes are home to some awesome lush caves. These meandering rivers around the snow and the spruce are just so nice. One of the things that this gigantic ocean hosts is a huge mushroom island, guys. It is gigantic. It is so rare. Especially nowadays with how much terrain can spawn in these Minecraft worlds. What's even weirder about this is there's another one right next to it. While much smaller, it's still super cool and still holds its own. You and your friend can have a battle of who gets here first can have the bigger island. Do you guys like building on mushroom islands, or is that just me? Some of the warmer spots in this pack are super ideal, with the jungle behind and the savannah in front, and some nice flat places to do some building. So we are now going to go and check out the Nether. I'm going to be activating the portal that was next to the villager outpost in the savannah village. This portal pops us out in one of my least favourite Nether biomes for survival, the Soul Sand Valley. While great for blue fires and lanterns early on, terrifying for you and the safety of your portal. Luckily, or not so luckily, depending on who you are, the red crimson biome forest is awaiting for you just in the distance. Something I noticed is this seed Nether has a very predominant crimson and soul sand valley biomes. After travelling through both of these biomes for 200 blocks or so, you'll find yourself a bastion built into the forest wall like some sort of timeless temple that was always meant to be there. It's so cool. If, like me, your favourite Nether biome is the Warped Forest, then you're in luck, as there's a plenty, only 500 blocks away. Make your way over this vast lava ocean. Whether you bridge or use striders, whatever your preferred method is, I prefer bridging. But once you make your way over, you'll find the basalt deltas. Not too far from that, only 700 blocks, you can find yourself a Nether fortress. Well, nearby the portal unfortunately did not have a blaze spawner, but it did have plenty of Nether wart. So at least you would be ready to go ahead and make those potions. With this Nether fortress being a little baby one, it's great for early game or beginners. You could easily take this whole fortress. Okay dudes, so let's go ahead and check out the next seed. So this next seed again is going to spawn you in a warm biome. This seed brings us to the savannah to begin with. With normal forest off in the distance one way, find yourself a savannah village with a couple of rivers going around it. The village is far off over there in the distance, but still super reachable. After crossing a few rivers, you'll find yourself stumbling across the savannah village as a super easy pickings for early game and start in Minecraft. You can make yourself at home here for the first night, or you can steal some of the supplies you need and get on out of there into the world. Wherever you decide to run deeper into the savannah towards the village, head to the forest to go and get your first little bits of wood so you can start those essential things that you really need to get going. Or if you take a run along the forest line, eventually after running through what feels like a long bit of a savannah, you will come to an open ocean, guys. And this is going to be a super easy way for you to travel around this world and get to exploring. This seed offers a really nice, safe start to the survival world. Whether you decide to make a boat and head out to open ocean and go and check out some of the other villages and other biomes surrounding it, or if you decide to follow the rivers inland, you're going to be finding a couple of new biomes super early on in this seed. Traveling inland through the savannah, you'll find yourself confronted with a load of mangrove, guys, like super early on. One of the things that I absolutely love about this seed is the sort of mangrove plains jungle village that it's got going on. I think this looks awesome, guys. It's so rare to see a village this close to mangrove, and to then also have the jungle as the backdrop. It's such a nice touch. With the village leading off straight into the jungle, it's such a nice little place to spend your first night before you head off exploring. Whether you choose to explore the mangrove, the jungle, or even just set up a sweet little life here in this village, either way it works. The high ground around the village and the jungle is absolutely on point too. This seed also has some really cool caves. Maybe you're looking for a more solitary life. Maybe you picked the ocean to sail. This ocean is absolutely gigantic, guys. If you wanted to build like a raid farm on it or something, then it's so perfect for that. There is not land around for miles. That is the closest coast that we've got. Traveling across the ocean will bring you to this adorable little split island. Maybe you and your friend wanted to share an island each and sort of have like a little river in between. Or maybe you just wanted both of them. After sailing this warm seed, you will eventually find yourself coming across some soft cherry hills. Something cool about this pillager post, just demonstrated by that dude. The cool thing about this pillager post is that it's all surrounded by water. So say you were to be shot off or fallen off while having a little raid, you'd probably be okay. As demonstrated lovingly by our little pillagers. If you are looking for flat plains to build with nice backgrounds, then this seed is pretty ideal, guys. With a pretty easily finished portals too, guys. The nether for this seed seems to have quite a good variation of biomes, so it should be pretty ideal for a survival world, not just only in the overworld, but also when you get into the nether. It's not as plentiful on nether fortresses as I've seen in some packs, which is something to bear in mind if you are going to be doing a survival in this world. These seas are so large that depending on how far you're willing to travel by ocean, and you will be confronted with so much spruce if you're looking for that cold biome too. These cold biomes over here specifically though are surrounded by these stony edges. The way these giant stone shelves span the length of these sort of coastlines is so cool, guys. I think this looks absolutely on point and it's so ready for a build. This seed is perfect for those of you looking for a warm biome start, even with mangrove included in warm biomes and wood types that you can get. While you do have to travel for the spruce and the colder biomes, it's definitely worth it once you get there. Let's move on to the next seed, which is going to have a little bit more cold biomes available to us, as we've looked at two pretty warm seeds to begin with. Okay dudes, let's go check out this next seed. So this next seed has a really lovely spawn in my opinion. Once again we spawn in a forest, but this time look up and you'll find snowy hillsides just above you. If spruce and snow is your jam, then this seed is perfect for you because there is tons straight from the get-go. After traveling through copious amounts of spruce, looking out across the vast landscape, find that you stumble across a pillager outpost looming off, looking over all of these beautiful lands. With allies to save and pillagers to kill, if you're feeling brave, you could take the challenge on. Underneath the pillager outpost, you'll find some pretty wicked caves too. This flooded aquifer that surrounds pretty much the entire cave and then stumbles down all the way to the bottom looks immense. With a lava bed at the bottom lighting up the entire cave, this is such a fire cave. It's filled with an ancient city at the bottom. If you're like myself and you would rather start life on the quieter side, then hop your way over the opposite side to this cold grassy plateau and make sure you watch out for the ravine. This village is right next to the ocean, which is going to be pretty useful in survival as the ocean's so good for traveling. You'll find that you can grab some early game loot and some food just to get your adventure started. This village is partially on a flower field where rabbits spawn. You'll be able to find cats killing rabbits, leaving you plenty of free quality meals just lying around on the ground. On the other side of this grassy plateau, you'll find yourself another village. This one is near some cherry biome as well, which is pretty cool. Looking out across the landscape from the village, you'll notice there's a huge ocean just off over there. This is a monster of an ocean. It spans all the way over 4,000 blocks, bringing you to so many different biomes. From snow to swamp to badlands, this ocean is your highway to biome success. And we also have a ruined portal not far off it. Rowing along, you find you stumbled across these two islands disconnected by a perfect river. Clear out some of the trees and you've got yourself two pretty much perfect private islands, maybe one each for you and your friend. You could build a giant bridge connecting the two, or maybe you'd rather go to war and set booby traps all along your side of the river. Travelling along the bank of the Dark Oak Island and heading a little way out across the sea, you'll find these cliff faces. One of these cliff faces has a mouth which opens up to a flooded cave. While not very big, this does make for a pretty ideal cave build in survival. This ocean being so huge, you can sail your way all the way over 3,000 blocks. You'll find this long cold ocean turns into a warm tropical sea, lit up with coral and vibrant badlands all around the edge. The fact that this ocean brings you from snowy mountaintops all the way to dusty badlands, this seed will make you feel like you've truly travelled the world in just a few days. Bird's eye view of this warm ocean is like a Milky Way. As you follow this tropical strip of ocean, you'll come to a passage with half jungle and half badlands. On the badlands side, you'll find this little brightly lit archway into the wall. This takes you all the way down to a lush cave below. This lush cave is pretty big, so it's definitely worth an explore when it's so easily accessible. On the other side of this warm ocean strip where we have this fire jungle biome, you can find yourself a secluded jungle island with jungle surrounding it, or you could make this jungle cove your home. Within this jungle biome, you'll find yourself a jungle temple. This jungle temple is pretty accessible and pretty easy to loot. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the Nether. We're going to go and head back to spawn and see what's going on in the other dimension. I set up a portal by the second village near the cherry, and let me tell you, if I got this Nether spawn in survival, I'd never go into the Nether again. You would have to make it safe fast. For those of you up to the challenge, I'd love to know how it went. If you're looking for a slightly safer Nether spawn, then head back over to the first ruin portal we checked out. So I set a portal up by the second village near spawn. You'll find that you pop out in a pretty safe netherrack cave. Make your way across the nether wastes and you'll find that you start to change biomes. Something I love about this nether is the merging of two of the most dangerous nether biomes. And they've merged in this really accessible spot, so you could easily explore them both and get the things that you needed from them. Wandering down through the basalt deltas, you'll find a bastion. This bastion is littered with chests. If you're brave enough to get the loot, you will not be disappointed. I think this bastion may have been one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. Grab yourself a strider or some blocks and make your way over this lava ocean. You'll see some legs hanging down from the ceiling. Land yourself on the Crimson Edge as you explore these dangerous lands, make your way up through the forest and you'll find the Nether Fortress that those legs belong to. This Nether Fortress is weird. You'll have to climb over the trees that have grown into the Nether Fortress to venture underground and follow the fortress further. With this Nether Fortress being so large, it won't take you long until you find two blaze spawners, armor trims and nether wall. This fortress has got it all. And on this juicy little note, we're going to go ahead and check out today's final seed. Alright guys, so this last seed is going to spawn you in a cold biome. You'll find yourself surrounded by ice peaks and snow. The landscape of this snowy tundra is absolutely flames. It's so pretty. If you're feeling a little lost and bewildered in the snow, make your way over to this snowy taiga village. I found some pretty good loot too in this village. I managed to grab myself a saddle and some horse armor, so from the get-go I was ready to travel these lands. I was also even able to grab a compass to aid this travel too, which was pretty cool. If you're keen to get out of the snow, just a few blocks out of the village you'll find an oak forest. At the edge of the oak forest, cross the river and you'll find this giant grassy plains with a beautiful mountain for a backdrop and a village in the distance. This village is sat right next to the edge of the tundra. The ice spikes in the back make it kind of mystical. Just off the village you'll find this crazy looking mountain range. You could definitely make some crazy magical wizard village. I'm not sure what a wizard village is, but I'm sure it would go here. If you're looking for an easy way to explore this seed, then just head to the ocean right next to it. This ocean is gigantic, guys. After traveling 2,000 blocks, you can find yourself some pretty cute windswept savanna. I love how these rocks hang over the pools. Not far off the savanna with these cliffs hanging over the pools, I also stumbled across another chunk of windswept savanna that I just thought was so cool. I found this really cool cave in the spruce biome not far off it too. It would be super cute for a cave house or a mine entrance. I also found this really deep cave in the spruce pit too. It begins with a lush opening which then goes down to this flooded lava cave, which is kind of cool. As if this seed wasn't offering us enough biomes already, over here in near this windswept savanna you can also find mangrove. This mangrove swamp is actually really pretty as it merges with the jungle and the rivers meander through. I really liked some of the mangrove clearings in this bit of land too. I thought they were really pretty. Heading all the way back over to spawn, if you opted for the snow and chose to adventure the cold lands, back at the spruce village, right beneath it you can find a trial chamber. Use the village as a place to stop and gear up before you begin the trials below, and hopefully you're successful. After travelling across the frozen lake, you'll stumble upon this giant ruin portal. This portal looks so alien out here all alone. It also offers enough obsidian just to be able to make a normal portal on its own. So if you wanted to mine it out and make a standard size portal, you would be able to do that without collecting any more obsidian. Hopping through the portal, once again we spawn in a Soul Sand Valley. We've had a lot of Soul Sand Valley spawns for this first episode. Make your way less than 100 blocks and you'll find you change biomes to the basalt deltas. After travelling through the basalt for only a few blocks, you'll find this really tall nether fortress. It became disorientating from how many winding and connected corridors. If you are looking for a challenge, this fortress is the one for you. As you come through the higher part of the fortress, eventually you can find not one but two blaze spawners. This fortress can also act as a highway for you to get through to the Crimson Forest as well. The way the fortress spans over the Crimson Forest and these 4 nether fortress corridors kind of connect is just so cool. This has to be one of the biggest fortresses I've ever seen. I've never seen 4 corridors span across a forest like this before. It's so cool. So guys, this has been Cherry Controller checking out 5 of the best seeds of 1.21 Minecraft Bedrock Edition. We've been looking at these seeds in detail. This video took me a long time to make, so if you enjoyed it, maybe consider giving me a like and a subscribe, even a comment of which of these seeds is your favourite. On a quick note, this was my first episode of our seed series and I can feel you can even see the quality of the video and my learning curve increase just in this video. So hopefully if you made it this far through the video, if you did, just know that I'll get better at this. Thank you guys, I appreciate you all clicking those buttons, and yeah, but for now it's been Cherry Controller and we are out.